Okay, y'all. So Game of Thrones season 2, episode 6. So a lot went down in this episode. So let's talk about Jon Snow real quick. So Jon Snow goes off with the other, goes off, to go find Mance Raiders camp or whatever, as a ranger with the other people of the Night's Watch. Now, they run into a wildling girl out there who was part of Mance Raiders camp. So they was gonna execute her, but John was like, "I'll do it myself," or whatever the case may be. So John goes to try and execute the girl, but he missed on purpose because he didn't want to execute her. So then the girl get to running, she gets away, or whatever the case may be. I think her name is Ingrid. She gets away and start running. And now John is trying to hunt her down and chase her or whatever the case may be. He end up catching up with her, but it's just them two like out in the snow, like in the middle of freaking nowhere, right? So it was nightfall and they trying to stay warm and trying to get some type of shelter for night before they start traveling again during the daytime or whatever. So she wanted to light a fire so she could signal her people or whatever. But John was like, no fires. We don't need no fires, like, or whatever. So they all cozying up with each other and shit. John up here being flirty with the girl. Well, I don't know if he being flirty, but he cozying up with her and all this and that with the girl. So back at King's Landing, okay, Joffrey is out and about amongst with the people. I don't know what the hell he was doing out there or why he was out with the people. They just out and about in the castle, out the castle or whatever. Him, his family, everybody, right? So while they was out amongst with the people and stuff, the people is like looking at him because he's the king and they starving and poor and miserable and they got a bunch of issues going on and he's not fixing none of the problems. So they threw something at his fucking face and he like, I want everybody executed right now. And there was a big riot in the street, so they had to hurry to get all of them out of there and get them all back to where they was. But Sansa had got separated from the group, and three men had chased her down and pinned her down and was trying to, get at her or whatever. But the Hound had basically went to go find her. Now, when they was all in safety, um, Tyrion was like, "We need to find Sansa. Like, we need to go back out there and get her." And Joffrey was like, "Let them have her." And Tyrion was like, "No, we need her for real. Like, what you talking about? Let them have her. Like, she's important." So Joffrey didn't really care, whatever the case may be. Yo, Tyrion smacked the shit out of Joffrey. Like, he was like, "I'm the king," and then Tyrion was like, "Well, I just slapped the king. Now, what you gonna do about it?" In front of everybody. Like, Joffrey is a little bitch ass motherfucker for real. Like, I can't stand him for real. And I can't wait until the episode when his ass is off. And yes, I am doing a spoiler. So, back in Harrenhal, um, Arya is still Tywin's cupbearer, or whatever the case may be. So she getting a lot of information of what's going on with the war with her brother and her mother and stuff. So after a while of her being in there, in comes fucking Littlefinger, okay, trying to talk to Tywin about, Marjorie becoming the queen and, putting in this idea that the Tyrells should be a part of what they have going on. But Tywin was like, no, because they was against us before, so why should we, try to marry her off to the king or whatever the case may be. So the whole time while they in there, Arya, like, they keep on saying, fill up his cup, fill up this cup, and all that. So Arya got to go around Littlefinger. Littlefinger know what the fuck Arya look like, and she like trying to like be in disguise, whatever the case may be. But he keep on trying to sneak looks at her, like, is that who I think it is, or whatever the case may be, or whatever. So Tyrion is really like enjoying Arya's company. Like, they have like little chit chats or whatever the case may be or whatever. But, you know, he's really like, I think he low key like admiring her for real. So she ended up taking this ladder, and I guess she was trying to go. I don't know where the hell she was going, but she ended up bumping into a guard out there, and one of the guards caught her and was like, "Where you going? Why you got this ladder and this and the third?" And then he was like chasing her down, and he couldn't find her, so he was like, "I'm gonna go to Tywin." So he on his way to go to Tywin. So Arya is rushing to try to find um, Jacqueline or whatever, Hagar, and she basically hurried up and rushed and said the guard name who was chasing her. He was like, "Oh, well, it's going to take some time to get him or whatever." And she was like, "No, you got to do it right now because he's ready to tell Tywin everything." So as soon as the guard went in there to tell Tywin, he fell flat on his fucking face. Like, he was out of there for real. You know, Jacqueline Hagar is smooth. You already know who he is. Like, he played a huge part in later seasons to come. Now, fucking Theon is a bitch ass motherfucker, and I can't stand Theon. He betrayed the Starks. He invaded Winterfell. Okay, he beheaded. Like I said in the last one, Bran's dream came true. Okay, like I said, he was going to invade Winterfell or whatever. So he definitely betrayed them and talk about he the prince of Winterfell. He taking over. Yada yada yada. Like, these people had took care of you and didn't treat you like a prisoner when they could should have treated your ass like a prisoner when you was with them for real. So basically, the wildling girl that's with Bran or whatever, she trying to cozy up to Theon or whatever, so she could trick him so that she can get out with Bran and the brother and Hodel or whatever. So they all get up out of there at the end or whatever after she fucks some guards up. But they on their way out of Winterfell. Now, Catherine finally arrives back at camp where Rob is. Rob linking up with the girl, the doctor girl or whatever, being all flirty with him. And Catherine was like, you already wed to somebody else. I wish you could follow your heart. So she know that Rob want to be with that girl because he keep on trying to talk to her and being all flirty with her, but he can't do so. She made it very clear, like, you have to honor your vow, like you already wed to another, which is Walder's Frey, one of his daughters, right? And if Rob breaks that vow, there's going to be some serious consequences, which we're going to see by the end of the season. So I'm trying to figure out. Oh, so Daenerys. So Daenerys is trying to talk to the members of the 13 or whatever. The one guy of the 13 that want to marry her, he's still trying to put the moves on her, still trying to marry her, or whatever the case may be. And she like, I ain't with all that shit. Like, I already had a husband. I'm just trying to get my kingdom. So she trying to talk to the other guy of the 13 who owned ships and stuff. And she basically was like pleading her case to him and stuff like that. He like, well, I'm sorry to say, but about your dreams, you can have all the dreams you want, but you definitely she was like, but dreams don't win wars and stuff like that, and she ain't getting under his ships, basically. He ain't giving her no ships. So she gets back to her hotel, or I said hotel, like they have hotels and shit, but the hotels for back in that day. She get back to her little room where she was staying at or whatever. And all her guards and shit is dead. Her handmaiden is dead. Everybody is gone, okay? And somebody that took all her damn dragons. So the person who took her dragons is heading to the house of the Undying, okay? And the dragons is crying and this and the third, and this is how the scene ends. Now, I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I think that was like all the important stuff that took place in this episode. So yeah, go ahead and drop your comments, and I'll see you on the next one.